Nice. There we go. We are live. Just waiting for time. We're still about a couple minutes away from pushback. I'll be scheduled off the gate at 7:15 Mountain Standard Time. Currently 7:07. So we've got a couple more minutes here before we depart for Appleton, Wisconsin. So just chilling at this point. And then once we get underway here, we'll start moving here at 7:15. But until then, guys, just feel free to hang out and enjoy the scenic views. But we'll schedule a pushback for 7:15. I am trying to coordinate this as real as possible, so it'd be more of a real-time flight than anything else. That's why the scheduled pushback is at 7:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time and 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, that's what we are doing today, and just kind of waiting time out. It's a bit of a wait, but yeah. Once again, guys, we are pushing back at 7:15, and then we'll be off the gate. Then might push back a little earlier. 7:09 right now, so we will go ahead and start closing up the service door like so. All right. And here in just a minute, we'll start shutting the main doors. Here, about 5 minutes prior to pushback time. Start closing the main doors up. This is a new view here today. We got the interior cabin, this beautiful regional jet. All right, let's go ahead and seatbelts are already on, beacon lights coming on. And let's go ahead and shut the cargo door. We don't want that to interfere. All right. Aircraft is all closed up and ready to go. And let's go ahead, just make sure. Yep, we are good. All right. Let's start our pushback here. Wherever it is, there we are. Pushback. And we will get underway.
pleased to welcome you aboard Air Canada. Your safety and comfort are important to us. We ask for your attention as we outline the safety features of this aircraft.
Nous vous souhaitons la bienvenue à bord d'Air Canada. Votre sécurité et votre confort nous tiennent à cœur. Nous sollicitons votre attention pour la présentation des mesures de sécurité propres à cet appareil. L'équipage de cabine est responsable de votre bien-être. N'hésitez pas à vous adresser à l'un de nos agents de bord en cas de besoin ou si vous avez des questions.
The cabin crew is responsible for your well-being. Please do not hesitate to ask any one of our flight attendants for assistance. If you have any concerns, please let one of us know. For your comfort and safety, lighter baggage must be stowed in the overhead bins and heavier articles under the seat in front of you prior to takeoff.
Pour votre confort et votre sécurité, vos bagages doivent être rangés avant le décollage. Les plus légers dans les coffres au-dessus de vous, les plus lourds sous le fauteuil devant vous. En préparation pour le décollage, vous devez être confortablement assis. Le dossier de votre fauteuil doit être redressé et votre tablette rangée.
In preparation for takeoff, you should be comfortably seated with your chair back straight and tray table stowed. Fasten your seatbelt and adjust it around your hips.
Veuillez boucler votre ceinture de sécurité et l'ajuster sur vos hanches.
To release the seatbelt, lift the upper portion.
Pour la détacher, soulevez la pièce qui recouvre la boucle. Nous vous demandons de toujours garder votre ceinture attachée lorsque vous êtes dans votre fauteuil. Si la consigne des ceintures s'allume en cours de vol, une annonce vous demandera de retourner à votre place et d'attacher votre ceinture.
We require the use of your seatbelt at all times while you are in your seat. Should you be away from your seat when the seatbelt sign lights up, an announcement prompting you to return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt will be made. Air Canada is pleased to provide a non-smoking environment on all of our aircraft.
Air Canada a le plaisir de vous offrir un environnement sans fumée à bord de tous ses avions.
At this time, portable electronic devices must be turned off and stowed and may only be used during flight once the seatbelt sign has been switched off. However, receiving and transmitting functions must remain off at all times. Please check with a crew member before using any electronic device.
Tous les appareils électroniques portables doivent maintenant être éteints et rangés. Ils ne pourront être utilisés pendant le vol que lorsque la consigne de ceinture sera éteinte. Les fonctions de transmission et de réception de vos appareils doivent cependant être désactivées en tout temps. Avant de vous servir de tout type d'appareil électronique, veuillez vérifier auprès d'un membre d'équipage.
If there is a need to evacuate, a seat-mounted lighting system will guide you to the nearest emergency exit.
S'il fallait évacuer l'avion, un éclairage sur le côté des sièges vous guiderait vers l'issue de secours la plus proche. Les issues de secours se trouvent aux endroits indiqués. Veuillez repérer celle qui est la plus proche de vous.
Exits are located as indicated. Please note the one nearest you. The illustrated card in the seat pocket in front of you explains the many safety features of this aircraft. It should be reviewed prior to takeoff.
Une carte dans la pochette devant vous indique les nombreux éléments de sécurité propres à cet avion. Veuillez en prendre connaissance avant le décollage.
During the flight, if the cabin pressure changes, an oxygen mask will drop automatically from the panel above you. Remain seated. Pull the mask towards you. Use the support strap to hold the mask over your mouth and nose. Adjust your mask. Breathe normally.
Si la pression de la cabine change en cours de vol, un masque à oxygène tombera automatiquement d'un panneau au-dessus de vous. Restez assis. Tirez le masque vers vous. Servez-vous de la bande élastique pour le maintenir sur votre nez et votre bouche. Ajustez votre masque. Respirez normalement. Mettez toujours votre masque avant d'aider quelqu'un.
Always secure your own mask before assisting another person. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing on water, remove the life vest from the pouch under your seat or below your armrest. Place the life vest over your head, fasten the waist clip, and tighten the belt.
Dans la situation peu probable d'un amérissage, prenez le gilet de sauvetage qui se trouve sous votre siège ou sous votre accoudoir. Retirez-le de sa pochette. Passez la tête dans l'encolure. Fixez le crochet autour de la taille et ajustez en tirant sur la courroie. Pour gonfler le gilet, tirez sur les languettes. S'il ne se gonfle pas immédiatement, soufflez dans les tubes.
Pulling the tabs will inflate the life vest. If it does not inflate immediately, it can be inflated by blowing into the tubes. The life vest should only be inflated as you leave the aircraft.
Ne gonflez votre gilet qu'au moment de quitter l'avion. Merci d'avoir choisi Air Canada. Votre sécurité est notre priorité. Nous vous souhaitons un agréable vol.
Thank you for choosing Air Canada. Your safety is our top priority. We hope you enjoy the flight.
All right, I am back. I just muted my microphone for that portion of it because I did not want to talk over that. That would not have been fun. But we are pretty much ready to go here. Go and flip on our landing and strobes and get on out of here. Like so. Runway 27 left for departure today out to Appleton, Wisconsin. Probably one of my favorite airports to fly into is Appleton. Love the name though. And I'm not going to give it that much power because this plane is a little bit overpowered. 86% in one, or 92% in one. About 86% power. Back pressure, and we are easy. Off we go. We're up. Altitude select. Out of Chicago, guys. This plane is fairly powerful, so that's why you don't need a ton of power to get out. But here's the right hand side seat overlooking the wing as we climb out of Chicago's O'Hare. Gonna go up to flight level 180 today. 18,000 is our cruising altitude for this short 33-minute flight on over to Appleton. That is the plan. Speed. Drop that down a little bit. Basically what we're going to do is watch one of these wing views as we climb. So we're out of Chicago now, guys, and we are headed up to Appleton, Wisconsin. Not a very far flight. Ooh, that makes me a little easy doing that. Looking at the map and then turning at the same time. Not a great idea. But, yeah, so we do have the inside view today, as you can see. Nice CRJ 200. I was about to say 300, there's no such thing as the 300 series. go. Passing 10,000. And a steady climb out. Can't really see anything from that seat, but you can see a little bit more of a realistic flight view. Passing 12,000. We'll go up to, we'll go up to 18,000. I don't see why we need to go up any higher. There's no need for this short hop. We'll be descending in 73 nautical miles, so it's not worth climbing that high. Pull off the seatbelt sign here. Like so. Day to fly. I'm actually going to turn down the sound volume here. It's a little loud. There we go. It's a little bit more quiet so you guys can hear me a little bit more. It was a tad bit loud there. We are up on cruise. Oil gauge. Once it stops climbing, it's still indicating a climb. There we go. Now we can engage it. So in 40 nautical miles, we'll be descending. So super short flight today, guys. Yeah. We'll take off of runway 3 and then do kind of a, I'm thinking either that or runway 12 and then kind of do a loop back into Chicago and then land on one of the, maybe even land on 22 left. That's kind of the plan for that. We are 24 nautical miles from descent. Short little flight here today. But we will be going back to Chicago here tonight, so it's going to be a round trip. There's another airport around here somewhere that I wanted to try. Not General Mitchell, I think it's this one right here. University of Illinois. 5-hour center. Flying for me. Galesburg, that's a small little Peoria. We might try flying into Peoria later. That might be a little bit of an interesting flight. Looks like a KPIA. Let's see what KPIA is. KPIA. I wonder if that's a GA airport? Or is that a commercial? There's an international airport by the looks of it. Yeah, we might go to Peoria then. That'd be interesting. Fly to Chicago and then, not fly to Chicago, but fly to Appleton and then from Appleton straight to Peoria. That could be an interesting flight. I've never flown that routing, so I don't know what that would feel like. But I think we'll plan for it then. Peoria, or we can go to Central Illinois, Logan County. There's not a whole lot of options up here. The other's Quad City. Jesus. The other option is we could do, I might do it in chunks. I might fly from Appleton to Midway and then Midway to Peoria down here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll fly her up to Appleton and then fly to Midway, and then from Midway we'll fly to Peoria down south in the southern part of Illinois. Let's see here. We'll get into Midway. Procedures, approach. See what kind of approach we can do. That's relatively logical. Or I might even do a flight from Peoria down back up to Midway. Most of these approaches are, no, that actually works. DPA to final. Oh, God. A little weird. Let's see here. Arrivals. There's only a couple of different arrivals here at this airport. So it's a smaller. O'Hare is the big guy. This guy's just a smaller one. I really want to have to circle. It's just a pain in the butt. We'll figure it out when we get to that stage. Alright, we are starting our descent. There we go, we're starting our initial descent here to Appleton, Wisconsin. ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck captain speaking. Starting our initial descent down to Appleton, Wisconsin from International Airport, so this time please return to your seats. Here we go, again we go. Yeah, I think we're gonna go to Peoria straight from Appleton, Wisconsin. I don't think we're gonna go back to Midway because it's a bit of a pain in the butt. So, and our flight times are gonna be doubling length versus. I think we're gonna do this. Such a weird route. That works. Alright, we'll figure it out when we get to that stage of the game. But for right now, I'm not going to pull the speed back just here. I'm going to keep it at 250 for just now. Yeah. We are going to fly from Appleton to Peoria, Illinois. That's what I think we're going to do after this flight here. Do you guys want to do it in the CRJ? Do you guys want to do it in something a little different, something a little bigger? What's the distance from Appleton? Oh, make me decide what kind of aircraft we should do it in. 222 nautical miles. Might do that in a 737 then. Because that's going to be a very long flight in this little guy. So, most likely we'll do that in a 737. Not this little guy. That's a very long. I'll do it in maybe Southwest or something. Southwest, or even one of the other 737s, like Alpaca Airways or something. I don't know yet. But yeah, that's a 200. That's going to be over an hour-long journey into Peoria International from Wisconsin, with basically 2 states over. So we'll probably, once we land in Appleton here in the next 10 minutes or so, we'll pick it up with a 737-700 or even an Airbus, and then fly it into Peoria. That's the plan for right now. So for those of you that are just joining us now, Default, what's up, dude? What is up, my friend? Just currently on descent just did a very short flight from Chicago up to Appleton, and then we'll be taking it over to Peoria, which is another airport just off the southern Illinois border. We're gonna fly it down there, probably in something a little bit bigger and faster than this bird, because currently we're flying this tiny little guy. And it's it's kind of slow, so yeah, we will plan for that. It's a 222 nautical mile jaunt into Peoria. Just got home, my friend. That's fun. Guess you had a long day then. There's the airport. Is that the airport? No, we're still 40 nautical miles out. It's like, that airport there is like 10, less than 10. Yeah, it's good Friday evening. Happy Friday to everyone. Hope your week's been going well. Mine's has been very slow this week. Not a whole lot happened. We got some snow here, but other than that, it's been not a whole lot of adventure. But yeah. So whoever that, yeah, it's been very slow this week. Hopefully next week picks back up, but yeah, it's been a slow jaunt this week for some reason. Last week of March, I think, and then I think late next week is going to start April. So yeah, time flies. Time flies. Here. We're still a distance here. Let's pick up the speed a little bit. I got a little carried away there. We'll pull the speed up a little bit here because we don't need that much distance to descend. You can expect the stream to be anywhere from an hour, probably almost 2 hours long tonight, because we are doing a 222 nautical mile hop after this flight here. After we land here in Wisconsin, we'll be flying it straight down to southern Illinois. something a little bit bigger than this bird, but probably I'm thinking we might do the Shamu 1 livery. That seems to be a nice livery to fly in, so I might do that. But for right now, we're just slowly but surely cruising towards Appleton. I wonder what lake that's called down there. Let's see if we can find. It doesn't give us. Yeah, it doesn't give us terrain. Some good news. This game is getting updated here in the next few months, hopefully. They're going to add buildings and airports and gates and all that fun stuff into this game in the next update. They're already doing beta testing, I saw on their Twitter account. So next, I don't know if it'll be the next stream after this one or if it'll be a couple streams later down the road, but yeah, there's going to be a stream that once they do the update, things should look pretty nice, because developers are planning to put some new buildings in and kind of make it more realistic, because right now it's just flat land with terrain, but it's not like crazy realistic, so that's their plan coming up here. It's in beta testing, so I don't know when they'll release that, but once they do, I'll definitely be streaming that weekend. If it even gets released on the weekday, sometimes they release it into the weekend. But that's some exciting news to look forward to. I can't wait to see how this game's going to look when they actually install buildings and all that cool jazz. Because for the price of for a free game like this with an in-app subscription of like $13, or even free, you can get this game is getting a long ways. When I first got this game way back then, airplanes were not modeled this way. They were very simplistic, very basic, and now with all the ILS and GPS approaches you can practice ILS approaches in the game. You can do, flights like what I'm doing tonight here on the sim, A to B. But back when I got it, I think in 2011, I don't know when I bought this game. It used to be like $6 on the App Store. Now it's free because of the in-app subscriptions you have to pay for if you want all the other aircrafts and whatnot, and if you want the entire globe. So yeah, this game can get costly, but I think it's come a long ways from when it first started out. When the game was first put out in 2008 or 2009, it was very basic, very, very basic. In fact, you couldn't even fly in the whole world. There was certain regions like Hawaii, Denver. Speaking of Denver, Denver's another region. Whoops. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. I'm just going to start slowing down. Let's put flaps 8 out. But anyways, as I was saying, when this game first came out, it was very basic. You had certain regions you could fly in. Certain parts of the world were open for purchase, but now they've developed a full world concept, and you can pretty much fly anywhere, anytime, fly with your friends, all that jazz. So it's come a very long ways from when I first got the game. Alright, so let's go ahead and focus on landing here. We are very close to the airport now. Let's go ahead and see what our speeds are at. And I believe I have the runway in sight. Let's go drop our gear. Get everyone back in their seats. What is he doing? Drop the speed a little bit more. Flap flaps 30. I'm not quite picking up the ILS yet. I'm just waiting until we pick up the ILS before I start putting in final approach stuff. So right now we are not quite picking it up yet, so I'm just kind of hanging on and waiting. Alright, looks like we're pretty stabilized here. Derek, what's up, dude? We are on final into Appleton, Wisconsin, my friend. But don't worry, we'll be flying down to PIA later. Peoria International in a little bit here. So you'll have plenty to watch and plenty to see. Let's go ahead and switch our thing to nav 1 here. Localizer in approach mode. We'll drop our speed down to 150 knots. And we are on final now for Appleton, Wisconsin, runway 3. So on the autopilot here, it's just adjusting the altitude. It's got the localizer, and once it picks up the altitude, it'll turn green and bring us into Peoria, Appleton. This is how pilots do things when visibility is not great. Is they throw it onto autopilot and let autopilot do the work. So that's what we're doing here tonight. Kind of letting the airplane fly itself, and we just monitor it. So I've gone flaps 45, 145 knots, and I'm probably gonna go flaps. We're already pretty low on that. Go 143 for final approach speed. Alright, now we're on glide slope. And, yeah. There we go, we are on final. So for those of you just joining us now, we are on short final now for runway 3 at Appleton. Again, this aircraft this is the termination of this aircraft, but we'll pick it up here in Appleton on a Southwest 737 and fly it southbound back into Illinois, into Peoria International, and that's where we'll wrap it up. So that flight should be pretty fun. It's 222 nautical mile jaunt to Peoria. Should take us about 40 minutes or so to get down there.
$1,000.
1,000 feet checked. And what is our minimum altitude here? Alright, so short final runway 3 here in Appleton.
500.
500 checked, continuing landing.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Check closed. Reverse screen. Spoilers up. Peanuts. Clear 'em. And we'll let the aircraft roll out on the runway here. Alright, welcome to Appleton, Wisconsin. Take the next high-speed exit off and park the aircraft and then jump into Southwest Airlines. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Appleton, Wisconsin, where the local time is approximately 9:55 p.m. For the safety and comfort of all passengers, please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened and all care none of them stowed until the aircraft is parked at the gate and the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. If you need assistance in deplaning today, please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened. Remain seated until the aisles are free, and we'd be best able to help you at that time. I'd like to remind you smoking is prohibited. Transmitting and receiving functions of your mobile device is now permitted. As you leave the aircraft, ensure you have all your personal belongings with you. Exercise caution when opening the overhead bins, as some items may have shifted during the flight. If you require assistance in deplaning today, please remain seated till the aisles are free, and we'd be best able to help you at that time. If you're making a connection out of Appleton today, please check the video screens inside the terminal building for flight information and gate connection information. On behalf of Air Canada, a member of Star Alliance, I'd like to thank you for flying with us today. It's been a pleasure having you aboard, and we hope to be of service to you again in the near future. We wish you a great day here in the Appleton area or wherever your final destination may be. Alright. Lights, landing, strobe lights, we'll turn all that stuff off. We don't need it on now. Yeah, I'm going to fly something a little bigger after this, because this airplane is kind of fiddly floppily, and kind of hard to control, as you can see here on the ground. But we have made it. And I can't imagine flying one of these for real life. Gosh. I hope they handle a lot better than what's shown on this game. Yes, we have landed, but our journey is not done yet. We still have one more airport to go to. And we're going to fly something a lot bigger and a lot more easier to control. It's actually one of my favorite airplanes. So, we will park this bad boy right here. And kind of show you guys something here once we get to the gate, if you missed the beginning of the stream. Turn this guy off now since we don't need him anymore. Park it right here. Set. Go and open up the service door here. Cargo door. Pop that open. Pop that guy open. And let's go and shut off the lights. And welcome to Appleton, Wisconsin. If you want a picture of the airplane, that would be your chance. That's a great shot right there. That's beautiful right there. Alright, so that ends this flight. Yes, I want to end that, and then let's go into our 737 section. We're going to do Shamu. And let's go up to Appleton. We'll go to gate 7 and fly something else. All right. Welcome aboard the big boy jet. We're gonna go to Appleton and we're gonna go direct. Let's see here. Let's go direct here, and then procedures, approach. Do that. Nope. Nope. Vectors, PI, no, I don't like that either. Before we do that though, let's go ahead and turn on the basic stuff here. Let's turn on our APU. Nav lights, no smoking, all that jazz while we mess with this. Alright, so not exactly sure what approach we want to do here. Let's see if we can find something that makes sense. So far I'm not getting much luck with it. I think this is the one we were gonna do. So this approach here doesn't make any sense. PIA, I guess that works. Vectors, I don't like that either, to be honest. That's a very cut dry approach. Nope. Yeah, I don't like. We could do that. Yeah, we could do that. Let's do that. Okay, perfect. We got a bit of a squirrely flight here today, but that will work. Let me go ahead. Now that that's set up, let's set up our autopilot. Make sure our throttle's at idle, so when we fire up the airplane, it doesn't blow us away. Alright, we'll go up to 22,000. Well, we'll go up to 26,000. So 224,000, I think. 23,000. Alright. So with that set up, that means I need to set this to nav 1. Runway procedures. Runway 22 is not an ILS. Crap. That's great. Ah, gosh, I don't like this already. Because that's not a it's not an ILS approach. No. I want something. I guess we'll have to avoid runway 22 then. I guess let's do this then. Here, let's go Greg for final here at the flight plan. Yeah. we'll do the runway 13 because 22 is not on ILS. This is, so we can set that into nav 1 and then just make sure that's on GPS mode. Okay, perfect. We are pretty much ready for pushback here. We are going to be flying the SeaWorld advertisement for Southwest Airlines. But yeah, let's I guess let's go ahead and turn on our beacon light here. And prep our pushback here. I'll start engine number 1 for departure. Really quickly, while we're not very straying far from the gate, I do want to make sure we have enough fuel. There we go. 90 passengers is fine. SeaWorld. Who doesn't love SeaWorld? Man, I don't think... When was the last time I've been to SeaWorld? It's been a while. Since I went to SeaWorld. Alright. All set. Engine number 2 is coming online. And we will monitor into in 1 rotation. So you can hear engine number 2 is now on. So we're just going to monitor in 1 rotation. EGT is rising as N1 slowly rotates. So we'll go to 20. And then our quantities A and B, hydraulics are 98, pressure is 2930 on both. This is what we like to see. TCAS is off, APU is running, and gear is down. Verified down. You can see the EGT is now bumped up a lot more. It's at about 400. It's going to settle out at about 460-ish. There we go. Alright. I'll do a quick... let's go ahead and drop our flaps to 5. So that's 3 clicks. 1, 2, and 3. This is flaps 5. And you can see here on this gauge it's indicating. And back here, somewhere it's supposed to show up here, but it's not modeled, which is fine. But flaps 5 is down and indicating also on our primary display there. We will do a quick flight controls test. Rudder left, neutral, right, right, neutral, elevator full up, neutral, down, neutral, aileron left, neutral, right, neutral, and that's good. And our spoilers do come out and they close. Perfect. Alright. All that is set up. Seatbelt sign is on. And we'll shut off the APU off. And keep our main battery on here. 2 good engine starts. And let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Alright, so we're going to be flying out to Peoria for those of you just joining us now on this flight. Probably going to be about a 40-minute flight, I would expect. Alright, so let's get our speeds up here. We've got flaps 5 set in the system. Like so. Alright, so we are, let's see here, we want to be... Ooh, that's a little low. Let's go ahead and set this up for 3,000. Oops, not 330p. There we go. and then we'll set this one for 0 because we don't need it. P again, Jesus. Alright, so we're gonna take, thinking we're taking runway 21 for departure today here. The 737 is so much more smoother than flying the other one. Oh man. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll pull it off right here. Put the parking brake on. Wisconsin to Illinois. Alright, so now that all that paperwork has been completed out of the way, we are ready for takeoff. Strobe lights, landing lights, everything is on. And we are passing out to the runway. Do a 90-degree turn here. That's a little crooked. It's fine. It's not meant to be perfect. It's a sim. It's not real life. %, in one stabilized. Takeoff power. Takeoff power is set. Bit more power. 80 knots. 130 knots. Go back pressure. We are off. Awesome. Bring gear up. Altitude select. Course 0. Alright guys, climbing out of Wisconsin now and headed up to our cruising altitude of 23,000 feet for tonight's flight. If you're just joining us now, we are flying this beautiful SeaWorld family whale aircraft over down to Peoria. Flight time, estimated time en route is just under an hour. I will be muting the mic here once we get up to cruise for a little bit, and I'll join you guys back on the flight deck once we are at our descent phase. So we are blown past 250 knots. I'm going to drop that back down. But yeah, once we get up to 23,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the microphone here for a little bit. And then once we're a little closer to Peoria, I'll come back on and Or pretty much during our descent is when I'll come back on. But for right now, we're just climbing out of flight level 6.6 for 230. And should be a fairly quick flight. I don't expect it to take very long. As you can see, we've upgraded to something a little bit bigger than what we were flying. From a 40-seat plane to a 200, almost a 200-seat aircraft. So, yeah, flying something a lot bigger, faster. The other aircrafts are just a little slow for my likings, so they take forever to get up to altitude. And then once you are up at altitude, it's like, well, it's time to come back down. So. Alright, passing 10,000 feet, we're going to do it Southwest style. And pop off the landing light first, and pop off the seatbelt sign. Estimated time en route about 46 minutes. So it shouldn't be very long at all. It should be a fairly quick jaunt. And we'll go ahead and increase our speed here up to 75 knots. Actually, let's go ahead and do 290. So we can get up there a little faster. And we will go ahead and swing onto the first officer's side. 14.4 for 230. Nice and easy. Just now passing 15.9. 16,000 feet. We'll be starting our descent here at 134 nautical miles. Set at 22. I'm going to go for 21,000. The airport's not that far. There's no need to go super high. Alright, so we can see our gear is indicating up and the lever is up and our flaps are 0 or up. And we verify that. We are up here at 21,000 feet, guys. Our descent, initial descent is in 110 nautical miles. This is where I'm going to sign off on the microphone. Let you guys enjoy a bit of cruise. And then we will be back once we are at our descent phase in about 30 minutes or so. So sit back, relax, enjoy the scenery on our way down to southern Illinois, and I'll talk to you guys once we start our descent. back, guys. We are pretty close to the top of descent here now. We're about a couple nautical miles out. If you can't tell, I changed the time to a early morning flight. And I picked up myself an orange juice. But yeah, we are still about 100 nautical miles or so out from our destination airport. But we've been in the air now for just under a half hour. And as you can see, we are starting our descent into Peoria. Pull the speed back down to 250 knots here. Cold orange juice. Delicious. So, now we're starting our initial descent here, guys. And ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck captain speaking. We've started our initial descent down here to Peoria International Airport. We should be on the ground here in about 20 or so minutes. Our tracker is estimating about 15 minutes, but 20 minutes to the gate with a 5-minute taxi. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for choosing Southwest Airlines, where your baggage flies for free. It's been a pleasure having you aboard this morning. We hope you have enjoyed our Southwest hospitality here. If you look off the left side of the aircraft, you can see the beautiful sunrise coming up as we continue down into Peoria International. I'll be putting the seatbelt sign here on in about 5 or so minutes here. So if you need to use the restrooms, now would be the time to do it. Once that seatbelt sign does come on, I do ask that everyone please remain seated until we are on the ground at that time. Once again, I'd like to thank you for flying with Southwest on behalf of the crew here today. We're the Chicago-based aircraft crew. It's been a pleasure having you aboard today. We hope to see you again in our cabin in the near future. We wish everyone a pleasant day in the Chicago and to the Peoria area, or wherever your final destination may take you. Alright. Once we get down to about 15,000 feet here, I'm going to go ahead and put on the seatbelt sign. Normally they don't put it on, but what we will do here is we'll put on everything else a little earlier. That way, once we do get out there, get down to that altitude, we can just focus on that. I'm going to change our settings back here and continue our descent. So basically what we did today, guys, is we flew a triangle. We started at Chicago's Midway, in Chicago's O'Hare Airport, flew up to Appleton, Wisconsin, and from Appleton, Wisconsin, we're flying down to Peoria, and we are on the descent phase of that flight. So, as you can tell, the 737-700 series aircraft flies a whole lot faster than the normal CRJ-200 that we were flying earlier this evening. Just now passing 16,000. We're descending at about 1,000 feet per minute or so. That's the nice thing with vertical navigation is it will calculate that exact distance for you. So we'll be landing almost towards the west here. We'll be landing towards the east, southeast-ish, and we'll be approaching the airport from the north. So basically, it'll be on a downwind for runway 13 here once we approach. So, for those of you who have stuck with us since we left to Chicago, thank you for flying with us today. It's been a pleasure having everyone on board. And for those of you watching on the replay, I hope you enjoyed the flight. Alright, out of flight level 150. So turn on the seatbelt sign. Like so. And we are still going. We'll be at 3,000 feet by Fibble. Be on the ILS approach for runway 13. You can see the beautiful sunrise behind us as we continue our beautiful descent. There it is. So I'm going to do something a little different today. Normally we approach from the captain's side. Today we're going to approach from the first officer's side and land it from this side. Again, we'll be using the AP system to land. I can land it manually, but with the Fiddly iPad I prefer to use that system. All right. Like I said, we are now 13,000 feet and descending. Put us in the Peoria area here very shortly. And once we are down in that area, things shall go a little quicker. Just now passing 12,000 feet, so we'll be on final approach, final descent here momentarily towards Peoria. There's a Peoria in Arizona. This is not the same one. That's the city of Peoria. That's a lot bigger of a place. This is more not that, but it's something different versus flying back to Chicago. If we flew back to Chicago, we would have been there probably about 20 minutes ago or so. So it's just a little bit something different. Try to change it up for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reducing our speed here in a minute and start prepping up for final. As you can see, we are about 2 minutes away from approaching Peel, and from Peel on in we'll be in Peoria pretty quick from there on in. Alright, so 11.5 now, 250 knots. I like to get the aircraft set up early. That way, if anything happens on final, it's all set up, and we don't have to worry about it. But yeah. All right, 10 minutes, and we'll be wrapping it up here today after this short descent. You can actually see the river, which is actually kind of cool. It's not something you see every day, but yeah, you can see it there. That's pretty neat. So, we are now 10,000 feet and descending. We'll reach Peoria in about a minute. So if you're just joining us now, we are starting final descent into Peoria, Illinois here on board the Southwest Airlines flight. Been in the air for approximately 32 minutes at this point, so we'll be touching down here in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll be wrapping up the stream. We're just now out of 10,000 feet for 3,000, and that'll put us into the Peoria area. Estimated time en route to destination, another 9 minutes, and we'll be on the ground momentarily after that. So, I'm going to start our turn here momentarily. I'm going to start reducing our speed back slowly, and start pulling it back for arrival into Peoria. But yeah, that's kind of our flight here today. We did a big triangle, so if you can imagine, from Chicago all the way. Be nice to connect that triangle, and wow, this actually kind of feels weird flying on this side of the airplane. But as a first officer for an airline, you have to kind of adjust and get used to it. I'm not used to flying. I'm used to flying on the other side because I don't fly these big birds just yet, so it feels weird when I'm sitting on the right hand side and not on the captain's chair. That's just kind of how it is, unfortunately. Alright, so we're starting pretty much our downwind turn here. I'm going to start reducing us down 210 knots, put flaps 1 out now. Preparation for landing. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival in 5 minutes. Intercepting that course now. Going down to 210 knots. Down at 210 knots here. And let's go and pull it back to 200 here now. Flaps 5. Alright. Feels nice to be back low again in the Illinois state. And no, it's not my favorite state, but alright, let's go and let's go back to the captain's side and see if we can't find the airport. I know that is not it for sure. It's probably that one, right? Yeah, I think that's that right there. Where that, if you look over the first one closest to us, is the airport. We're still out at 6,000 feet here. In the descent. I'm going to go ahead and slow us down to 180 knots. And in preparation. And there we go. Flaps 5. Flaps 10. Flaps 5. I already put flaps 5 out. Let's go down to 172 knots now. Like so. And perfect. We will maintain this status for a little bit until so We're just on the downwind now. We should be turning towards final here fairly quickly. Hopefully we'll pick it up fairly quick and be able to fly her in to Peoria. So, yeah. 6,000 feet and descending. There's the airport. I might do a manual landing at this airport. Because we've got a pretty steep turn here coming, so alright, let's go ahead and do 160. Go flaps. Let's do this. Let's go gear down, flaps 25. I was gonna do flaps 15 at first, but it's not worth it. For all those wing lovers, there's your wing view. And we could probably apply this whole approach on the wing view here. But, yeah. We'll keep her coming down to 3,000. We're at 5,000 right now. So. And we still have about 7 nautical miles to go. $4,800 now. And you can see that the landing gear has been fully extended. And we are on arrival into Peoria. Actually, if that's the airport right there, I don't know if this is the best way to approach it either. Because it's a bit at an angle. And that angle is pretty good there, so I don't know. We'll see what the aircraft kind of does here. But I'm not sure if that'll be the best way to approach it. Alright, 4,400 feet. Lowering here. This angle that we're approaching at is a little bit steep. There's no way that's going to make that turn. So we might have to bring this in manually here. Let's see here in a minute what it wants to do. Starting its final turn now. Bit of a steeper bank angle on this turn. Gotta bring her around. $3,000 feet, perfect.
2,500.
We're a little low now. Alright. So once we get lined up with this runway here, not quite on ILS yet. We'll go ahead and switch it over to GPS mode. And we're a little low, I think. I think we are a bit low for this approach. So I'm keeping her at 3,000 feet. If you're just joining us now, we are approaching our final destination here. Just waiting for the aircraft to capture the glide slope here so we can bring her into Peoria. Slowly down. Flaps 30. Alright. Alright here, so we're good there. We've intercepted the ILS. We have one approach. Oh. Pfft. Aircraft fuel is too much. There we go, we are on final. We are on final, guys. That turn to final was pretty cool. So you can see we are steadily approaching final here for runway 13 at Peoria. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Once we land this puppy here in Peoria, I'm going to wrap it up here. So, short final now for runway 13. Drop flaps 40 here. Go. $152 knots over the ground here. Bringing that speed back. Once again, guys, if you just happen to catch the end of this live stream, or if you're watching it on the replay, we are just on a short final for runway 13 here in Peoria, Illinois. This flight originated in Appleton, Wisconsin, and we flew it down the border south into the state of Illinois. And we are just now landing
1,000.
1,000 checked. So we are short final now. as you can probably tell.
Five hundred.
500 checked.
Four hundred.
Checked. Landing, continuing.
300.
All right.
Two hundred.
200 checked.
100.
100 checked.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Check. Closed. Reverse screen. Decel. $70 knots. Clear them. Manual braking. Alright. Welcome to Peoria, guys. Welcome to Peoria. Alright, let's go ahead and clean up here, and we will get off here. Go and oops. Landing lights, strobe lights off. Alright. There's the terminal right there. We're going to set flaps up, spoilers off. And yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this little live stream tonight here on this beautiful Friday evening. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. We're going to go ahead and taxi in to the terminal ramp right there and shut her down and call it a night. Thank you guys so much for watching us here tonight on board Southwest. I hope you had a pleasant flight. And we sure did have a lot of fun tonight operating this flight. Until next time, guys, take care. Alright. There's the gate.